Hello YouTube world, this is Logic Crazy, and today we will be going over how to install an IDE and a little bit of an overview on how the IDE is helpful and useful. Basically, I'll just give you a definition of the IDE. It is something such as NetBeans. I will post this in the details below. The link, I recommend NetBeans. It does install on many platforms, Windows, Linux, Mac, Solaris, and there is an OS independent zip for the few of you who that might work for. Basically what an IDE is it's made to replace a text editor. In the last tutorial we used command prompt and a text editor, and an IDE is a really efficient way to skip typing in all those commands, as well as it provides debugging and just general assistance and hints as you program. It also is very helpful for auto indenting and organizing stuff, adding that second bracket so that for every start bracket there's a matching end bracket, and so forth and so on. And so it's very, very useful for any programmer, and I definitely would not be where I am today if it wasn't for an IDE such as NetBeans. So I recommend NetBeans partially because it is so versatile over different platforms, as well as the fact that I'm familiar with it. There are several download options that you have for NetBeans. It is required for the Java part that you at least download one of these first two that contain Java. The second and third one do not contain Java, and so they will not be of assistance or of any use in these tutorials. And the last one is all-inclusive, and I have downloaded the last one, and I recommend that if you have the bandwidth, just because you may wish to start working in C or C++ or some other programming language later on, and you will be able to just jump right in without any extra hassle of trying to understand how this whole IDE works. And I just think it's more of a useful futuristic thing, but not necessary by any means. So feel free to download this IDE and pause the video, and we will resume once it is installed. Alright, so now that I'm assuming you have installed NetBeans, currently I'm running 7.2.1, I will show you what NetBeans looks like. Now I have some open programs on here, but it should look something like this, and this is just a bit of an overview of why NetBeans is so essential, or some IDEs essential for writing a program. You will see that there are different programs, or different, you could think of them as a text file. Remember we saved howdyworld.java in the last tutorial? Well, this is alphabetachess.java. This is sudoku.java. This is a user interface.java. And so these are kind of text files. But you will notice that they are color-coded. If we take a look at this sudoku, which I hope in very soon to provide tutorials on how to create your first sudoku solver, you will see color-coded. You'll see black as the normal. But then there are things like this green, and variables in general are green often. At least these arrays are green. Then you will have blue. These blue things are applied to a certain characteristic of code. I'll show you something. If I add, I'm just going to press one key on my keyboard, one square bracket, you'll notice two square brackets appear, and I'm typing in the middle, which is very efficient. You will notice also the auto indent as each step increases, and that helps organize things. If I am right here and I hit enter, it auto-indents me because I'm in a new layer, and it makes for a more structured and easier to read and debug later on. Also, if mistakes are made, such as just scribbling some things in here, you will notice a little error message, and it will provide a bit of a description on what is wrong. Also, in the scroll bar, you will be able to see little red lines. If you click on them, it'll jump you right up to the error. So I will just undo all those things. It will also provide helpful hints, as well as, for instance, I believe if you hit Control Space, it provides a list of things that you could type down. So when I'm typing down system, or let's see, if you type in user grid dot, it'll provide options. You want length, and these options are short and concise and apply to user grid. It's not necessary that you understand what user grid is at this point, just showing you that it is providing useful, helpful hints. Also, for instance, if I were to select pgrid, this is an array, which I'll discuss later, but it's found and created in different places. And in order, how about grid? I believe grid is more common. You'll notice on the right hand side there are little green lines here. They show you all the occurrences of the word grid, and so you click on them and it jumps you to those locations. And so you can quickly do a find thing, even though you didn't do a Control F traditional find, it's automatically displaying lists. Another really useful thing is, remember the tricky command prompt? Now all there is a green arrow. I click it, it does all the work and provides the results. This is a solved Sudoku. This is what we will be creating soon. It doesn't look pretty, but the numbers should work out. I haven't even checked. But anyway, it just provides output without all the messy work, as well as, the seconds that it took to run the program and stuff, some useful information when things are going slow. And another really useful feature is, especially when you have errors in your program, you can click on these numbers and you'll notice a little pink thing coming up, and what it basically does is it tells the program to stop. If we click this arrow instead, the debug project, it will run the code, but it will stop whenever it hits one of these stop signs, these pink lines, and then you can slowly analyze and look at what are the current values mid-game. So in a Sudoku, when it's thinking of tons of numbers and quickly changing stuff, you can go through the line of code as it runs it, step by step, without just seeing a result that was an error but you're not sure where. You can step by step go through it and find the error. And so that's a very useful feature, extremely useful actually in more complicated programs, whereas a text editor, you would have no idea where the error was, or it would be very difficult to find the error at least. Another thing is this works like tabs. So with all your different files and programs, sort of like a modern browser works. And so it's very easy to switch within the main interface between different programs, and including some programs such as the user interface and Alpha Beta Chess are actually the same program. So it's one is dealing with the thinking and one is dealing with the visual. And the whole purpose of that is, anyways, they're both in one program, but you can just quickly flip between them very simply. And so these are just a couple of the cool features that an IDE provides to a programmer, and the reasons why I believe it's necessary. Just for a little more of an overview, you'll see on the left-hand side a list of projects that are open, and you can open and close them at will and see the files inside of them. And so it's more of a sort of a explorer tree view, but customized for your projects. So this is the basics of an IDE and why I believe an IDE is essential. So if you have installed it, I'm glad that you have, and I look forward to taking you through more tutorials. And if you have not, I recommend you get it. I believe that it will be very difficult without that. Even just the simplest things. Just one last example before I go. If you take right here, we have created a variable grid, and if you misspell the word grid as gridder in a text editor, probably wouldn't notice that. It could have just been a typo, and this catches it. It underlines that specific thing in the line, notifies you over here that variable gridder. It cannot find that. But anyway, I just highly recommend it, and look forward. I believe the next tutorials, just to get you excited. We hopefully, in the long plan, we will be going through some exciting projects, such as a Sudoku solver, which can solve anything, including a blank, an empty Sudoku, such as this one. You'll notice they're all zeros, and it solved it as this. So it uses a guess and check algorithm instead of logic. And then we will move on to a more advanced thing that I'm very excited about, and that would be a chess engine. And hopefully that will be quite a highlight, but I hope to not stop there. I hope to find more exciting projects as we progress. I look forward to seeing you next time.